Hello everybody, my name is Jeffrey, and in this tutorial we are going to create a FPS counter so that we can keep track of how many frames and how many updates we have each second. So we'll start off in the run method in our main class, and we'll create two variables, one for the amount of frames per second and one for the amount of updates per second. So type int frames, I'll call it FPS equals 0, and int UPS, standing for updates per second, equals 0 as well. And now each time you call the update method, just type UPS plus plus, and each time we render, type FPS plus plus. And then after we at the back of our while loop, or at the end of our while loop, just create an if statement, and now we're going to we're going to create an if statement, and we're going to check if a second has passed. If very much like this, but way simpler. And if a second has passed, we're going to output what amount of frames and amount of updates were last second, and we're going to set those values equal to 0 again. So first we'll create a variable called timer, long timer, equals system.current current time in milliseconds. And then if timer if system.current time in milliseconds is bigger than timer plus 1000, so if the last time we set the timer plus 1 second is bigger than the current time, is smaller than the current time, we will output the frames per second and updates per second. So we'll basically be running this if statement once every second. So in here type system.out.println, and in here type FPS. We'll do the updates per second first, because those are constant, most of the times constant. So plus UPS plus, and I'm going to add this vertical line, plus FPS equals FPS. And then just set the variables equal to 0, so updates per second equals 0, and frames per second equals 0 as well. And then we'll just increase the timer by 1000 and run. And in the console it now prints how many frames per second we have and how many updates per second. The frames per second is 800,000, which is quite a big number, but this will decrease to about 5,000 in the next tutorial. So okay, we can output the amount of frames per second each second to the console, but it would take up a lot of space in the console, and we'll mainly want to use the console for debugging purposes. So what we're going to do is we're going to display how many frames per second we have in the title of our window. So copy this, so right click on it and copy, or press Ctrl plus C, and then just type window.set title, and that's why we made this method. And we're going to set the title to tutorial dash, I believe it's called a dash at least, and then just add this and run. And as you can see, the updates and amount of frames per second is now displayed in the window title. One final thing we're going to do is we're going to set the default title of our window equal to tutorial, so that the change won't be as big in the first second. So yeah, well, that was it for this tutorial. I hope I see you in the next one. Bye.